Okay, so we have here a work to bring our model and our textures to Unreal Engine so we can connect all the textures together. At this moment, I'm at the Unreal or the Epic Games Launcher, which is an application that launches your Unreal Engine. It contains much more than just Unreal Engine. If you have it on installed on your computer, you should find it that it's under Epic Games Launcher. And of course, if you don't have it, you just can go and log into the Epic Games website and download the launcher, and then that will take you to give you the opportunity to install the Unreal Engine right there. I have my 5.0.3 version, and I'm going to this moment launch the engine for us to bring our model our textures. So I'm just click on this while that is launching. If you have two versions of the program installed there, you should try using, we're going to be working with version 5.03, which is the one that we have installed in the lab for you to use. If you plan to work at home and work on campus, I suggest you to use the same version for both of them before you install the program on your computer at home. Right now, this Unreal project browser window pops up, and I have a number of projects already that I've been playing with. But for our initial project or for initial connection of textures, we're going to use a blank game format so that we can connect our textures properly. So I'm going to click on the games preset. I'm going to click on the blank preset. I'm going to have a blank project there. And I want to make sure that some of the settings here, I'm going to use C++, desktop, which would be a video game for to play on a desktop computer. Quality going to be maximum, which is fine. I do not want starter content, and just to make it a bit faster, my computer, I was working through the network, so I'm going to keep it no ray tracing. That way, it works a bit faster. And then I'm going to give it a project location. I'm going to go and put it under my W drive here. It's going to be a little bit slow because I'm connected through the network to the network on campus. So we're going to go to the W drive, and the W drive, you're going to go to the 3310 folder. And then, of course, you're going to find your own folder there. I'm going to go to mine here. I'm going to create here a new project. I'm going to call it machine texture. This will be a project that I'm going to use only for texturing my model, not to I'll just go in there, not to create my video game in. We're going to just create that one in a different location for all of us. So I'm going to just select that folder, and I'm going to give it here a name for it that will be texture file. And then I'm going to use simply now say create. So that's going to take a few moments for it to create your project. You're going to make sure you're clear where you're saving your project. I suggest you to do it in the W drive. If you decide to do it at home, you can still do it at home, but you want to try to be using working through Citrix maybe to connect it, to make it easier for you to transfer your files for the location we need to transfer them to. But right now, my computer is not, the greatest. It has a graphics card that has some limitations with Unreal, but it created a project, but it didn't launch anything. It just simply created it. So I'm going to launch again. And this time it should show the project. This takes a little while. It's a big program, so you're going to count with sometimes there is. So here, for example, you have my texture file project now. I'm going to open that one. Hopefully that'll take no time to open. So again, mine is working through the network, so it's a bit slower. So hopefully while you're working the computer on campus a bit faster than this. Okay, so here finally is launching the project texture file. Okay, so here it finally opened. This is an empty project here that has nothing but just ground plane and mountains in the distance. Not really much. And here just took a quick little browsing around. Here we have a viewport area where it's going to be all the assets. You can look at the assets through the perspective or through the different views. You can show, your lit version or your wireframe and so on and so forth, and show the different type of assets that you're going to be, you can be working from. There is on the right upper hand side, there's an outliner, just like in Maya. You can see all the assets that your project has. In this case, this already has some lighting in there, some landscaping. Those are the assets that are back in the distance. The project, although it's empty, it comes with that, so you really don't need that. You can just hide it there, just so you have a bit easier way to find your object when you bring it in. On the lower part here, the details, whatever object you select here, you're going to see the details on that section, and we're not going to get too dedicated to that because we are not actually spending a lot of time here. We're simply just going to use it to connect our assets. Here on this section, we have windows for you to look at the different attributes for different components that you may use. Not all objects have that information on here. Here and at the bottom here under the content drawer, and the content drawer is the one where you have your objects that you're going to be bringing in. And here is what we're going to, you can always bring it, by clicking on it, launching it here. Some people like to dock it, the layout like that. So you have it locked, and then you don't have to close this one here. You don't have to be opening and closing it again. That way it's a little bit easier for you to see it. Again, if you lose it, just simply it is down there again. So you can simply just dock it or undock it like that. So I already have it, so I don't need it here. Let me go back to that one here. And inside of the content, we're going to bring our assets. So one of the things that we are going to do is, before I bring anything here, I'm going to copy my asset. I have here my project, by the way, which I created. It was called my Rodrigo Gomez folder on the W drive. I have my machine texture project, which is the one we created, the texture file folder. There is the project that we have right opened, and here is that content folder. This content folder is exactly the same content folder. So in that location, we are going to place our objects, our LBX files that come from Maya. Let me try to open that up here. See if I can get to that. Let me launch another window because it's not launching. So I'm going to go and look for it here quickly. On my W drive, it had it saved somewhere else. So let me just go and grab them very quickly here. So I have my asset that came from Unreal and from Substance. Let me start with the ones that I got from Maya, which is my FBX. I'm going to double click on it right here. Just to preview it again, just to make sure that it is correct. Again, I'm working through the network, so that's why it's kind of slow. But if I just pan around, there is my animation. You can see it right there. So I'm gonna go and grab that one. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna paste it on my texture project content folder. And I'm gonna do the same thing for my textures, the one that I exported from Substance. These are the textures that I exported from Substance to Unreal. These are the Substance to Unreal package. I'm gonna grab the whole folder. I'm gonna grab it. I'm sure I'm not gonna move it. I'm gonna copy it there. I'm gonna paste it right there. So it's gonna take a few seconds to copy the whole thing. Hopefully, and again, I'm putting it inside of the folder away. I'm not using files from another location. I'm gonna keep the files inside of the project where I need it to be, so that I can export them out. Okay, so that's gonna take us a few seconds more. While that is happening here, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bring the content, although the content was imported already, I can just simply try to add the content by clicking on this button, or I can just simply go outside here and find, not that one, this is my original folder. Let me go back to my, this one. I'm gonna, here is the one that I just brought in. I'm gonna start by bringing in the toy animation FVX. I'm gonna bring it and dump it here inside of the content folder. Although it's already in the content folder, but I'm importing it now so that the Unreal Engine recognizes it. And then when I try to import it, it has this window pop-up information that allows it to recognize a number of things. First of all, that there is a skeleton connected to it, and then there is a mesh, of course, connected to it. And then it guys comes with animation. I'm going to check in animation, whatever the timing came from Maya. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to tell it to just let it be as it is right there. And I'm going to say import all, and that just takes a few moments for it to import my toy. Hopefully, it's going to be faster here. It's doing it through a network, so it's a bit. So there it is. Under my content folder, I'm gonna just wrap it here. You can see here that a number of things came in with that file. All of these are already familiar to all of us. These are the shaders, the Lambert shaders that we created in Maya, and by default, they became shaders here, and they kept the colors that we had in Maya, which is pretty cool. Down here, I see, for example, this one is the skeletal mesh, which is the one that contains the rig information pretty much. This one is my skeleton, actually. This is the mesh, I'm sorry. This is the mesh, this is the skeleton. And this one is my physics asset, which is my geometry. And this is my animation. You can see it's an animation sequence. You can see right in the name there, it says animation sequence. So there are 4 assets connected to it. If you double click on them, you can look at them. For example, if I double click on this one, it should launch a window showing it to me. Hopefully it'll do it. I'll give you patience. My computer is connected to the network, so we can try to get that information. All right, so here it just popped up. It took a little while to launch, but you can see here my model there. If I click on it, press F, I can frame the object. That way I can look at the object itself. All right, so I have that my model, and I'm not going to launch the other ones. Here, all the other information connected to all of it, which is more information that we could use. But before we use any extra information for those shaders, I'm going to bring in also my from Substance Unreal, which is my collection of textures that came from Substance. So I'm just going to grab that folder, the whole folder. I'm going to go and dump it here, and that is going to take a little bit of time for it to hopefully recognize it. Let me try one more time. Yes, hopefully it's doing it there. All right, finally, they came over here. You can see here now, I have my substance from real folder with all the different textures that we got from Substance Painter. If I want to bring up my asset to my object to my scene, I could simply grab it and dump it there. And in this case, I can just grab it and just put it there. And that way I could just go and look at it. You can see he gets added here on your list of assets. There is. I'm gonna press F so I can go and look at him. Hopefully I can look at him right there. I'm using my W key, just like I'm playing with a video game. Just trying to get a bit more framed looking at him. There he is. So I have him with all the color, the shaders. I just lost him. There is. Hopefully he's back somewhere. I think I clicked on something else and then I lost him, but he is there anyways. I'm trying to see if I can find him. Not sure where he went. Let me see if I can find him here. All right, so we have him right there. Like for some reason, I deleted him. I think my computer is having a hard time connecting, so that's why. Anyways, I have him there, and I want to start connecting all the textures that we brought in from here. So in that way, we have a fully finalized object that we can look at. And let me go and grab. I'm going to go and start by editing the shader for the antenna. So I'm going to double click on that shader, and that will launch a window that has the connections for that shader. Right now, the antenna has just simply a color match that follows what Maya had there. You can see your content drawer here again. It's the same one as that one, so this might make it a bit easier for you to be able to grab the textures from Substance. And you can see here the content I have the folder, and I can see here this one is the one from the antenna. It says in the name, it says robot one body big UV's main antenna shader. This one is the antenna shader normal, and this one is the antenna shader occlusion, roughness, and metallic. So the next one is the body, I believe. Yeah, this is the body base. So let me do the antenna just quickly since I have that one open right there. I'm going to grab those three layers. So holding shift on my keyboard, click on the three of them, and I'm going to grab them and I'm going to bring them over here. So those three objects got added here to this object or to this window. And this parameter here, which is the one that's connected to the color, I'm not going to need it. I'm going to just get rid of it. I'm going to delete it. And my texture, the one that came here, I'm going to apply the red, green, and blue to the base color. So that one is my color information. You can distinctively know it by, of course, you'll know your texturing, so you'll know that that's the one. Then the next one, which is the bluish tint, it's a normal map. You can see it because of the pinkish tone. I'm going to use it, the red, green, blue again to go to normal. Let me move this one over here a little bit to make it easier for us to see it. And then this last one, which is kind of funky looking, is because the three channels are connecting, or each channel, the red, green, and blue are being used, each channel used for a different thing. So the blue is used for the metallic. And again, if you forget, what they have, and you can look under the names here. This one is occlusion, roughness, and metallic. So the blue connects to the metallic, the green connects to the roughness, and the red connects to the ambient occlusion. So those connections generate the look that you see here to the shader. You can see how the shader is providing the metalness to it. The only thing is that the way it looks, although it doesn't look bad, it feels too glossy, and I didn't create my object without glossiness. So what that is that this object here is not read properly. So I'm going to double click on it here. Hopefully it launches in a second. There is. And I'm going to tell it not to use sRGB. So I'm going to check it and give you this error right away. And that's because you have to change the temperature from color to linear color. That way, the error goes away. And now the object, yes, is the glossiness, but it's the glossiness that I needed to do from, substance. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to apply it. And I can save it here. Just make sure you save it so that it gets updated in your shaded information. That takes a little bit on my computer here. Shouldn't take that long on yours if you're working on your computer locally. Okay, so we finally got through it. It's now auto-saving. The program has an auto-saving feature so that you don't lose your thing again. Mine is slower, but auto-saving its packages right there in progress. Okay, so now I'm ready to simply do the same process, repeat that process over and over with all my shaders. So let me just I'm going to pause my video now. I'm going to go and let me close this one before I do that. I'm going to close this one here. I'm still saving. Just give it a second for it to finish saving. Yeah, it takes a little while to do anything. It's just a big program, and especially when you're working from remotely. All right, so let me just close it here now. I can close it there. And let me try to update my guy here. So I'm gonna close him here. I better delete him there. I'm gonna grab it again. And it's going to be my physical asset. It doesn't matter which one you put there. I'm gonna put this skeletal mesh there. And hopefully it will let me. You can see that there his texture shows on that. Wow, I'm having a hard time with my mouse here, but you can see that this is texture starting to show on this antenna. I can turn off some of the lighting if you want to see a bit less. Mine right now is receiving a lot of that brownish orangey tone from the lights or from the landscape. So that is affecting it a little bit. I can turn off the lighting here. Let's see how the lighting does affect it. It goes all dark, of course, but that's basically that one. And I'm going to go through all of them. I'm going to do the same connections on all of them. So let me put my video and I'll come back in a few minutes. All right. So I finally was able to go through all of them. It took me a while. I'm just closing some of them here. After you launch them one by one, they kind of like close. Remember, you got to keep saving, otherwise you may lose some of the information there. I'm gonna close this last one here. I'm gonna say yes to that one. And you see here, mine just got all the textures are connected to it right now. So if you want to do certain things, like for example, adding some glow to it or something, you can take for example, in this case of this one, the light shader, you could Let me see if we can open it up here. You could actually take the texture, the color texture, open up in Photoshop, paint, figure out the UV's paint, glow, color, and then reconnect it to, let's say, the emissive color. That way you can make it a bit more, glowy or something. You could always try reconnecting this one right here, just to make it, try to see if it does a bit more of that kind of glowing. You can see here it becomes a bit brighter. That way it provides a little bit of that effect. But again, you can paint some more colors on it, make it darker, make it brighter in the center, and so on and so forth. So you can play with some of that. You can also export out from Substance, the opacity connect to the opacity here as a shader. So you can see here now it becomes a lot more glowy. Maybe it's a bit much, but it does the idea. So I'm going to save my file here, and in our next version, we're going to bring in the movie, or better, the post version, and then we're going to export out everything to our final project, where we'll see him in action. Before I go to that, I just double check here one thing that I didn't do before, and that is that in one of these files, animation sequence, I'm going to double click on it just to make sure I see the animation on it. You can see him there being animated with all his, I could click on him and try to look at him closely. So you can see him there. It's coming with all his materials and everything. You see the little animation there. So that's already taken care of. I'm not changing anything there because I'm not going to be changing his animation. So let me save that. And I'm going to close this window here. I'm going to save my project for now. Just give it a second. This is an untitled level. That's why it's giving me that untitled there. Okay, I'm going to do it outside of my current recording here. Okay, there it is. Let me just save all, making sure that everything is safe. I'm going to stop recording. My computer might take a little bit longer to actually save it right there. Let me save it right there. I'm going to call it under content. I'm going to call it, this is the level for it. Someone's going to call it texture level. Levels is the way of maintaining information as it is. There it is. I'm going to stop it recording there. And I'll see you in the next video.